stop till we get it. Got a rocket strapped onto my feet. I'm a bad boy, yeah, don't forget it. No rest, no sleep, because we're bringing it on.
Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 473. My name is Chris Faricio, and I'm here with Jason A. Stryker.
Hey, sup?
And Jeff Chorney.
What up, guys?
We are sans Travis today, and we hope he's doing okay, but we're good with 3. So let's see what's going on. Let's see how everybody's doing. Jeff, what's up, dude? How are you?
Hey, doing okay. Got a long weekend coming up.
Yeah, we
the
do
wife.
too.
Yeah, the wife and I. Well, we had a long weekend last weekend. We had Monday off. That was our statutory holiday. I guess yours is this weekend.
Yep.
Sunday or Monday.
Memorial Day is Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, so ours was on Monday, and then we're going to Montreal tomorrow because we got tickets to go see Sleep Token. So we're going to go check them out in Montreal.
Ooh.
So looking forward to
Cool.
that.
Sleep.
What?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Have you heard of them?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're relative. They got kind of popular over the last couple of years. They're kind of like I wouldn't call them metal, really. They're kind of like a heavier version of like Imagine Dragons, sort of.
Okay.
Okay.
They got this whole like shtick where it's like they worship this god called Sleep. I think it's the god is Sleep
Okay.
or something, and it's all about like the concerts like worship, and they kind of like dress up, and it's like
It sounds like a
they're
cult, Jeff.
interesting.
You're going to go see a cult.
yeah, exactly.
You're going to a mega church.
I wasn't going to say it, Jason. I wasn't going to say it.
So if I send you guys a link or something when I get back and be like, yo, no, seriously.
I'll be
it's legit.
donating 10% of my tithing to... No.
No
Yeah.
sacrificing goats. None of that.
No, they're pretty good though. Tanya's the one who really wanted to go, so I'm like, all right, sure, let's do it. They're in Toronto, or they were coming to Toronto, but tickets for the Toronto show were like $100 and something bucks or something like that.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah, and Montreal was like 60. So we're like, well, let's just make a trip out of it and go out to Montreal.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, so that'll be fun. But I do have a funny story that I want to know what you
Like
guys
this.
thinks.
Shoot.
Okay.
So last Friday, I want to say it was. When do we record? Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, so Friday I wasn't feeling the hottest or whatever, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm getting some Uber Eats. What do I want? So I'm like, I'm going to get some Burger King. And
Okay.
I've gotten Burger King from Uber Eats before, and it's not been the best. It's been usually like not cold, but not hot or anything like that. And where the Burger King is located to where we are, even if I just go pick it up and bring it home, it could be a little bit on the room temperature side. So anyway,
Yum.
I make my order, and then it says it's going to be there in like 20 minutes or so, which is fine. And then I'm waiting. About half an hour goes by.
Mm.
And I'm like, what the hell? So I check my app and it said, oh, my Uber driver picked up the order. So I'm like, all right, sweet. Got to be on his way. Didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, hey, just running a bit behind. And then I look and he's on the tracker. He's in like a subdivision, just parked. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe he had another stop. But it usually tells you if there's another stop, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. Could be anything. He could have taken a side road and is at a stop sign, whatever. And he was there for about 20 to 25 minutes
What
in
the
that
fuck?
spot. Yeah. So,
Bro, he's eating your food, man. That's what he's doing.
so I'm like, I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, can I get like an update? And I wasn't like, whatever. I wasn't mad. I wasn't like in a rush. I was more worried that the food was going to be cold more than anything.
Right.
And he just like, oh yeah, I'm on my way now. Sorry about that. So I'm like, okay. So
The hell?
I get it. And I'm like, there's no way this is going to be warm. So I pick up the bag. He drops it off outside my door.
Yeah.
And it's all sealed up. So I'm like, okay, well, he didn't tamper with it. So I'm like, open it up and everything feels kind of warm. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, how is this possible? Like the burger's still warm. The fries were still warm, but kind of soggy, and same with the onion rings. But I get that. That's usually the case anyway when you get delivery fries.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I'm like, why is this still warm? So I take it out of the wrapper, still warm. And I'm like, it's not hot, but it's warm. Like there's no way this was sitting in this guy's car for like 25 minutes. Because at this point, the whole from like when I ordered it to when I got it, it's now been an hour, maybe a little bit more.
Holy crap!
So yeah, so it went over the amount. I got like a credit back and stuff like that. And then it hit me. This is what I think happened, and I want to know what you guys think. I think he picked up my order, and as he was driving, he's like, I really got to shit, like really bad. I think he went home because he lives in the area, did his business, and reheated the food, and then drove it over to me.
God,
because there's no way it would have been that warm after that amount of time.
I think that's plausible, man. The only question I was going to ask was it during the day, and what was
it was during the day? Yeah.
Okay. Was it sunny and was it warm? Because if it's just sitting in his car, like the car can get up to 120, 130 degrees.
There, maybe not here.
Maybe he has one of those like temperature controlled container things, like the pizza guys have.
No, I hear you say. Yeah, he could have had a thermal bag. And if that's the case, then that's impressive. But I would like to think that he needed to take a shit and reheated it, because I was like, this went from me about to like write a bad review and like cutting his tip down a bit. I wouldn't take it away because I tip no matter what because they need to make some money. And then I was like, well, that's kind of fucking genius if that's what he did. I'm like, maybe I give him more of a tip. I didn't. But I didn't complain. I didn't complain to Uber Eats. I was just like, whatever. The food was fine.
Yeah, it got there. It was warm.
Yeah.
How many times it got warmed up? We don't know.
No idea. No idea.
But it was okay. It all worked out.
Yeah. And it tasted just as bad as delivery Burger King ever has. So.
Excellent.
Tasted normally shitty, so it's fine. The only thing I would say is like you're gonna get the soggy fries from that. The only thing that
for sure
could be could be different from like being warmed up in a microwave is the bread.
The bread did seem a bit soft, and that's usually the case when you microwave a burger.
For a while. If it's still warm, it's soft, but as soon as it starts to cool off, it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah,
because all the moisture gets like radiated out of it, right? So but if it was super soft and it was still warm, like it's very possible that he just like fucking threw it in the microwave and brought it right over, right? So
I have no idea. Yeah, anyway, I thought that was amusing. Like it's kind of like an aha moment, and then even if it's not true, I just want to believe that's what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
That's funny.
What was on it?
Good for him. What was on the burger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was on it?
Oh, I just got a Whopper with cheese, and then like they have this like snack box that comes with mozzarella sticks.
Right, but did you get it like plain, or did you get like?
I just get it straight up. Yeah.
Okay, so then were the toppings warm? Because that's
they were. I couldn't tell the difference if they're any more warmer than they normally would be.
Okay.
Of a burger wrapped up in something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like when you eat it right there, it'll be kind of coldish or whatever. But
yeah.
And the drive itself, even if it wasn't heated up, would still be kind of like room temperature. So, yeah, that's it. Though.
Plausible, man. I think it's plausible.
Myth busted.
What about you guys? How's your weekend?
Jason, what about you, man? What's up?
Oh, I'm waiting for this weekend, actually. Yeah, we're gonna go hit MomoCon. I'm gonna leave the house. This is amazing.
No, wow.
Yeah, holy shit.
Now you're still in your boot, right? Like, are you?
I'm still fucking in the boot. Like, everything's healed up on it, but not completely. So we're still like taking care of it. Yeah. Like we're still wrapping it every day or so, and then patting it. And that's what the boot is for, is to protect it, because there's not a ton of skin there. So we're still wearing the fucking boot. God, I'm sick of it.
I'd imagine,
yeah, it's been years, dude. Other than that, I should be able to walk around just fine, I think, for the most part. So, but
now, which day are you going? Are you guys just going one day?
Yeah, we're just gonna go Sunday. That's it.
Sunday.
That's all I got in me, man. I can't do more than one day at a con.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going Sunday, regardless. Like, I know we're going tomorrow. Saturday is a maybe. I'm almost positive we're going Sunday. And then Monday is a maybe. It's all going to be play by ear. See how we're doing.
Good. I got shit for you. So come on Sunday.
Yeah. Definitely going to come on Sunday. All right. We're actually, I think we're doing a family cosplay.
Really?
Yeah, which will actually lead into
Sailor
distractions
Scouts?
a little bit, but
Yeah.
no. Sailor Scouts, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what we're doing. No, my kids and my neighbor's kid, they want to dress up as 3 characters from Undertale.
Oh, okay.
So
all right. That's why
they're
you wanted
doing
to do it real quick. Okay.
So, and then they convinced my wife to do it too,
Mhm.
right? So they're dressing up as, and I don't know what the names of the characters are, but they call them KFC. It's like Chris, and then there's 2 other characters, and I can't remember what their names are. But so they're dressing up as the kids, and then Crystal's going to dress up as the mom, and I'm like, well, okay, well now you got to tell me what the dad looks like. So tell me what the dad looks like, and like he's like this big burly like 2-leg walking like goatee.
And a goatee,
like,
yeah. That's Chris.
With like full plate armor though.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, well, I can't do that. And he goes, well, there's a casual version of him. Okay, let's look at the casual version.
The t-shirt with armor on it?
No. It's actually like a pair of blue shorts and like this bright pink floral button-up shirt. And he's got he's got ears, and well, I do now. And he's got horns, and then his hair is like all like blonde, yellow blonde, and it goes all the way down to like a beard. And I can't remember this dude's name. I wish I could.
I don't know.
But you know, I'm not going to talk about it in distractions because I literally just started. But because of that, I went ahead and started Undertale. So because I wanted to kind of get an idea of who this was. I didn't get that far because
you want to get your impression in line, right?
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
Sure you can,
but he has a trident too, and I don't have the trident, so I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, it's we'll see if we get recognized. I'm not sure, but it'll be fun.
I'll recognize you.
Yeah, we'll certainly show up on Sunday.
Cool.
But anything else on your end?
Nothing really crazy. I'm working out my hand. I got a little hand worker outer thing. Check it out.
Yeah.
Audio listeners, I've got this little like hand strengthening thing that I'm trying to get my hand in shape so I can play leverless better. Taking any excuse I can and just fucking working on it.
All right, that's fair.
So yeah, and my hand hurts now. So
it gets sore after a while.
It does. I really worked it out that first day. I'm like, this is fucking easy. I got this shit. After half hour, I was like, just fucking flying through this thing. Then the next day, I was like, oh god, my arm hurts.
Your forearms are on fire.
Yeah, seriously. Shit, I overdid it.
Tunnel now.
I don't know my own strength in my hands. Jesus. But yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, MomoCon's a big thing for me. And then we went to Ren Fair last week.
Yeah, how'd that go?
That was a thing.
Did you eat a turkey leg?
I did not. I don't do the turkey legs. But I do the King footlong hot dogs. But next year, I think we're going a different route.
The old King's footlong dog.
Sorry, King's dog. But they have so many other choices for food. I don't know why we keep going back to that main food court.
Yeah.
Like we thought about it, and it's like we're just not doing that next year. Next year we're going to go something else and figure.
You'll get a hot dog next year.
Nah, I'm not going to get a hot dog next week. It was good. Like I got it with cheese on it, so that's always good. But yeah, I'm done with that though. But as we're leaving, I'm like, you know what? I'm never bringing you kids again. Like I just. This is ridiculous. Like seriously, this is what happened. Okay, we showed up, we did Birds of Prey, right? We always do Birds of Prey.
I hate the birds.
You hate the birds? Okay.
I do. I'm afraid of birds.
Oh, okay. Well, we did Birds of Prey, and then we walked a little bit, looked at just shops. Like the kids each had the opportunity to get one thing. That was the thing. We were just going to do one thing. So we're walking around, and it's like, you can't do it until we're leaving because you're going to end up going to a different shop and you're going to want something else. So we're like, and we planned out a few things. Hey, we're going to go see Barely Balanced, and we're going to do this. And so we go and look at some of the shops, and then we get to where we're about to go to get lunch, and they were like, well, the lines are pretty bad, so let's keep going. So we checked out the pirate ship, and then we went and looked at a couple more shops, then came back and had lunch. And I'm like, all right, so we've already missed Barely Balanced once. So it's like, okay, well, let's try and get this show. And long story short, we were like, let's just go to the shops, get our stuff, and go home. And I'm like, did I just did I just pay to come to Ren Fair to just buy them shit and go home? Is that what happened? And then on the way home, we get stuck in traffic because there's a big fucking
super
accident. Fun. And I'm like, we could have still been at Ren Fair at watching the shows that we wanted to watch. Like, I was frustrated, but
didn't you just say no? We're staying. We're watching these
because my wife was on board with them, and I'm like, oh god.
If it's a three of them, if it's 3 against 1, you're scared.
Well, actually, it was 4 against 1 because we had the neighbor's kid too. So there were 3 of the kids, and then we had
Is he a little brat?
No, he's not. He's fine. Like he gets along really well with the kids, and he's respectful of us, and that's really the biggest thing. But for the most part, he has his moments where I'm like, you need to go home. But it's all good. So Crystal and I were actually talked about like next year we're gonna do one day where we bring the kids, and then we're gonna do one day where we just drop them with the grandparents and go just her and I. Because we didn't really get to do anything, and it's frustrating. It's like I just fucking wasted all my money. So that's really frustrating. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. MomoCon's coming up. We're absolutely going there. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah. Good stuff. But let's talk some games.
Yeah.
Geoff, why don't you go first? You got some new stuff.
I do got some new stuff. Remember that very first game that was ever announced for the Xbox Series console? It was fall 2019 at the Game Awards, the Keeleys.
Oh boy. You're bringing me back, brother.
Keeley just showed off the new Xbox Series reveal, and then right after that, they showed the trailer for Senua's Saga. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Okay. I always get Sacrifice and Saga mixed up.
Was it really the first thing they ever showed?
Yeah, it was the very first trailer.
I did not remember that. Wow. Okay.
Yep. Back in 2019.
And 5 years later.
5 years later, it finally came out. And you guys have not played it yet, I'm assuming.
No, I have not.
I booted it up, and I quickly decided that this is not what I need in my life right now. I don't need this kind of stress. Holy shit, is it pretty? But I can't.
Very pretty. It is. They nailed that promise for sure. I remember the first gameplay reveal was like a year later at the Keeleys, or it might have been 2 years after that. I can't remember. And they showed this scene of they're fighting a giant, and everyone was like, "Well, there's no HUD. There's nothing that even like leans into that gameplay." No one believed it. I just finished that part before recording, and no, that's the game.
Really?
That's what it looks like.
Cool.
Yeah, it's one of the few times you can be like, "Oh, they matched what they showed," or in some cases, it even looks better.
Wow.
It's definitely pretty. Yeah, it's the first like Unreal Engine 5 game that's like used all of the bells and whistles that it can so far. Very polarizing so far. I'm seeing like it's sitting overall at like an 83 or something, which is damn good.
Yeah,
that's
pretty good.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of very high reviews and some low ones. This is the way I'm gonna like kind of break it down. You like the first one, you're gonna love the second one. That's the easiest way to go. If you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like the second one. If you don't like, for a lack of a better term, like walking sims, you're not gonna like it. It's not an character action game. It's not Stellar Blade. It's not Devil May Cry. It's not God of War. It's more akin towards something like I was just gonna say Hellblade 1, but it's like it's I don't know. It's an interactive experience, but it is more than that. The combat is very good. It's much better than the first one. You'll see people online saying they don't like it as much as the first one, and I kind of wonder if they don't remember how the combat was in the first one, or if they didn't play the first one, because on paper they did take away a couple of the moves she could do, but the first one was literally you wait to parry and then you do like a baked in combo and then rinse and repeat. And for the second one, it's all dynamic. Like they motion captured every single move in this and multiple moves. So if you hit X, which is light attack, there's light attack, heavy attack, dodge, and then block and parry, kind of like your standard combat stuff these days. Let's just say you don't parry but you block. She'll like kind of go down, like the momentum will bring her hands to her side, and if you hit light, it doesn't start until like a canned animation. She literally starts the sword swing from where her hand is where you hit the button, and it swings from there. And then if you want to hit strong attack, it'll put her other hand on the other handle and come over with that, and if that, depending if that hits or not, or they block it, it kind of goes from there. So there's no baked in combo where it's like XXY, XXYY. It's you do what you want, but depending on the momentum that she has and where her arms are will determine what type of animation comes out. And you rarely see the same one twice. It's pretty impressive.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cinematic. You know, I can see why a lot of people, there's been some people being like, well, this looks like kind of like QTEs or like they're canned fighting, and it's not. It's something you have to try, and then you're like, holy crap, like it's how everything flows into each other, like the dodging, the parrying, the blocking, and then the different attacks, the heavy or light. It's once you get a hang of what it's doing, it is impressive. It's very cool. Intense too. Yeah, I
didn't know that. That's neat.
Yeah, it's a lot better than like it feels totally different than combat in the first one. I can see why some people look at it as like it's simple but more engaging. If there's less buttons you need to know, but you need to do more stuff. Like it's not, there's patterns. You have to learn the enemy's patterns, like any other game that's kind of like that. Where else was going with that? Fill in some time here. Ask me a question while I'm thinking, trying to get my thoughts here.
How are the voices?
I'm curious about the ambiance of the game. Like what's
the voices are
as I don't know what to call it. Is it as bad as the first one? Like not it's like, are the voices as disturbing as they were?
Yes, they are.
Oof.
And cool. In some instances, like worse. They're
great.
They don't shut. Okay, so
I think you're showing me whether or not I'm playing this one.
So for those who don't know, Senua has psychosis, so she has some voices going on in her head. One of them is more of like the positive one. One of them is kind of like the negative one, and it's all binaural sound. So they recommend you to use earphones, and the reason being is you can hear these voices like they're inside your head while you're playing, and they talk a lot, like during combat, while you're walking around, doing puzzles, and at first it's extremely like it's anxiety inducing, because when you're just kind of like walking around a level or trying to find out a puzzle or just taking it in, they're talking, they'll bicker at you with each other. But luckily it does subside in a way, like they evolve as the game goes on and they get calmer, because I think it's kind of tied to how Senua is feeling like in the moment, because at the beginning of the game you're basically captured and by slavers, and then you crash the boat crashes up on land, and she doesn't know where the hell she is, what she's doing, so she's kind of freaking out. So the voices are freaking out. But the more you get in the story, she's kind of calming down and getting kind of knowing her place and how to deal with things. So the voices actually become calmer. So I was like, oh, thank God, because I thought it was going to be like the whole game was going to be like this. I'm like, I cannot play this for more than like 40 minutes at a time. Yeah. And it's not a light game. It's dark in every way. Like the subject matter, it's grimy, it's grungy. The fighting, like when you slice someone with your sword, you see the slice like on their body, and it bleeds. Like it's not over the top gore, like gore gushing out. It's just realistic looking.
That's even worse sometimes.
Yeah, exactly, because you're looking at it like that looks like a wound. Like that doesn't like
gotta get that checked out, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Ninja Gaiden 2 where it's like you cut off an arm and like it sprays everywhere cartoonishly. And
but I love that.
It's like Monty Python shit. It's like spraying out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not a fun ride when it comes to that. And it does start off very slow. I've actually done I wouldn't say 180 because I never disliked the game, but for the first hour, I was kind of like, this is kind of more of the same. And I can see why it's getting like some of the 7s and like 6s. I was like, okay, yeah, I can get it. It's kind of more of the same, but really, really pretty. But then it starts to ramp up probably around chapter 3. And that's when it starts to get really, really good. And it becomes engaging. It's really good set pieces. There's a section that literally turns into like horror. It's basically like The Descent. So if you didn't like The Descent, you're going to hate this section of the game. And I'm sure Jason knows what The Descent is. Chris, have you seen The Descent?
No.
No? Okay. It's if you don't like tight spaces and creepy things, it's definitely check out that movie. That movie's awesome.
Actually, Chris, don't check it. I don't think you like it. No.
Yeah.
No.
Jason has seen me in some horror films.
Yeah.
He knows.
I've actually seen you go out of some horror films as well.
Oh shit! Yeah, maybe don't see it.
Like I'll wait for you outside.
Yeah, I have gotten up and left a movie with Jason before. So
yeah.
But I believe we've actually talked about that on the show back in the classic days. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, the sound design is also fantastic. What they do with sound and hearing things like flies and stuff buzz around you while you're crawling through gross stuff, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's good. I've gone from it's whatever to now I'm like, I get what the high reviews are, and I'm like, this is. I think I'm almost done though. It's not very long. If you just mainline it, the first time people are usually saying between 5 and 6 hours. I think I'm around 5.5 right now.
How long was the first one?
It was about the same. I mean,
about the same. Okay.
Well, the first time I beat it, I think was like 7, but I've played that game 3 times now, and the third time I played it, I think I beat it in like under 5 hours. Because if you know the puzzles, it does go a lot faster. And the puzzles in this one now there's some of the same ones I used in the first one, but there's also more variety. There's a couple other ones that they throw in there, which kind of make it interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's I think it's pretty special. It's not going to be everyone's jam at all. Like it's just not. It's not trying to be like this big blockbuster AAA game. They said they call themselves AAA indie. So they're not indie, obviously, but
I think that's kind of like setting themselves up a little bit, like not to fail, but lowering expectations, I guess, because they are really going in the immersive experience and they're nailing the fuck out of that. But they seem to be lacking in other areas, which and that's areas that they've done pretty well in the past. Heavenly Sword was a really good action game, for the most part. So to see
DMC
them,
was great. Yeah.
To see them just kind of like, lopsided like this, like what do they need to do to put that all together? Like, do they really need to spend all this time with the immersive aspects of this game? And like, when do they go back to, making more of a game, to put in this
well, I don't think they wanted to.
Really?
Yeah, Dom's he's the head of the thing. He's been doing his rounds, of course, in all the podcasts. And a lot of people are saying like, well, it's been taking so long. They spent like 7 years.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been 7 years. People forget they put out a game after Hellblade, the first one. They put out Bleeding Edge, which came out in, I think, 2020.
Yeah.
And then he was saying that they didn't start production until basically right after that trailer was shown. Like they threw together that trailer because they had something to show to Microsoft, be like, hey, we'd love to show this off. But then COVID hit and they never even got to start because all of their game, the entire game is done by motion capture. And they wanted to send people out to Iceland to get all the scans and everything. They didn't even get to start like actually working on the game.
I'm doing the mocap in my bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. So like, because they had all this new equipment and everything, and they're like, okay, let's do this, and they're like, oh, we're shutting down for like the better part of 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're saying really in actual production is probably about 3.5 years. So I'm hoping that their next game, because I like DMC, man. I'm one of the few that like that game.
Oh, me too. I love that.
Yeah, DMC was good, and like I still think that for what it was, like Heavenly Sword did a lot of things right. Like it did some things wrong, but like the motion capture was at the time like some of the best you could find. Right,
they've always been on top of that.
The actual action combat was very, very well. I won't say it was very, very good, but it was absolutely serviceable. It was better than I would say at least 75% of the other games out there like that.
At the time,
visually, it was pretty stunning. I think the biggest problem with it was that it had some difficulty spikes that were weird, and then it was pretty short overall, right? So
that seems to be their MO. Their games are pretty short.
But I guess my what I look at is but I'm with Jason on this. Like they now have an engine, right, that they could use. Now, obviously, they would have to scale it back a lot because I'm assuming that when it comes to something like if it's going to be more complicated. Hellblade 2 is very focused on
100%,
right? Like it's very, very focused. When you build a character action game, you're pulling it back a little bit. It's about the world. It's about the things you're fighting and things like that. So they might have to pull it back a little bit. But they have an engine that would probably build a fantastic character action game.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm not saying I want Heavenly Sword 2, but no, I'm saying I want Heavenly Sword 2. Like I would love it. I would absolutely fucking love it.
Oh, that would be cool. Well, they already announced their other game. Like it's already been greenlit. It's like Project Mara, which is supposed to be like a horror thing. It's we had no one seen.
I didn't even know about Bleeding Edge. I looked that one up.
Oh, it's rough. It's rough too.
Everyone forgets about Bleeding Edge.
Project Mara.
Mara. Yeah. He was mentioned I don't think that combat would work in Hellblade specifically because what they're going for like a grounded, like she isn't like some crazy ninja or warrior. Right. She's just someone who found a sword basically and is trying to survive.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I wouldn't mind that, you know?
No, yeah, totally, for sure. But I also like this type of game too, so it doesn't bother me that it's not the same as every other game. So I kind of like it. I have room for these type of games every once in a while. Like I have no problem playing a Firewatch here or there, or a Edith Finch here and there, or I have no problem with that. So, and this is kind of like that, but it is more gamey than those are. It's more like I guess in between like the Quarry and like those games, those like between that and like a what's that game? Requiem. What's that game? It's like one of my favorite games. Where it's like the Plague's Tale. Yeah, there's a little bit more game mechanics in Plague's Tale, but it really comes down to it's kind of similar. It's very heavily narrated, like it's all narration heavy and story heavy, and it's very focused. Like you're not picking paths or going where you want to go or anything like that. It's like you're basically going to A to B, B being the end of the game. So it's kind of like in between those two. There's more mechanics than the lower end, but less than the ones that have more mechanics. So
I get it, and I'm not really trying to knock it. I just know that a lot's riding on this particular game, you know, from the Microsoft standpoint.
We talked about that a bit already, right?
So I just wonder, you know, why they.
My concern is that Microsoft cuts them. It's like they got Project Mara that's been greenlit, but it doesn't mean Microsoft's not going to.
No, you can cut anything that's been. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not saying that there's not a space for a game like this. I totally think there is. You know, for immersive experiences like this, it's not going to have the broadest appeal, I guess. So that's why I'm like just a little let down that it wasn't a bigger thing, that it just turned out to be, you know, this experience, I guess, as opposed to like a gameplay focused, you know, thing.
I think a lot of people had that same thing, but I'm wondering where that came from.
I had high hopes for it.
I don't think those people like. Did you play the first one?
Yeah, I did. I played it.
Okay, because I'm wondering where those people's expectations came from that it was going to be a much bigger game.
It could have been. It could have been. Like that's why I said that they've had pieces. They've had other games to kind of really. The last Senua game was even more of an indie title. You know, that was an offshoot. This is something that the studio has been working on, you know, for years. And granted, it's not as many years as some people think, but like it's their main focus, right?
Yeah, it was their main focus.
Whereas the previous game was a side project, you know, that could have that afforded to be, you know, very singular in focus or small scope, I guess.
Yeah, but if that's their vision, though, it's like what they wanted to make. I see what you're saying. In terms of what we wanted, we would want more.
Yep.
But they didn't want to make a game that was more.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like as much as I want to see Heavenly Sword 2 or even Enslaved 2, that would be awesome.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Like they were asked about that, but they don't own the rights to that. And I think Heavenly Sword might be owned by Sony.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So that ain't happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
But they're not even going to make...
Microsoft cuts them. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they're doing this horror thing next, which to me, I'm not...
I mean, that's the thing.
Super...
I went and looked at the... I went and looked at like the website real quick, and they had like a little trailer that was up, and I'll be honest with you, if I would have just seen that trailer, I thought it would have been the same game. You know, it's gorgeous, like it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's very focused. It was very focused on the woman that was in the trailer.
Sonoya.
Well, no, from Mara. Or if I'm talking about the.
You would think that would be the same as Hellblade. I have not seen that. Mara.
Yeah. Go check out that trailer, because the way that they frame it, like outside of the environment that you're in. Like the focus that they have on the character is very, very similar.
I do remember that now.
Is doing
they did because it's the same actress that's doing the character in that as well.
Like motion capture actress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. She works there. I can't remember her name. She won the.
I'm sorry, I don't want to say it that way. The same actress that is doing the motion capture. She's not a motion capture actress. She's an actress that is doing motion capture.
That is also doing the motion capture.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes. I want to make sure that's what I mean. I want to make sure that's clear.
I gotcha. Yeah, now that does kind of ring a bell, actually, now that you said that.
Go back and look at it again. It's like I feel like they're making something that, and well, from the trailer, it seems samey, right?
Yes, they're a small team too. They're not big. They didn't grow the team much at all.
And I'm not saying that it's going to be samey. I'm just saying that it
could be. I mean, yeah. But from what that trailer is, I'll have to take a look at that.
Horror again, right?
The what? It has horror aspects too. It's honestly, it's more of a psychological. It's more of a mind fuck with the voices and everything. More like than it, except for that like one section that. Was fucking creepy, and I jumped a few times. It's more or less that. I mean, it's again Game Pass. Try it. If you don't have Game Pass, I think it's $20. It's not full price. I think it's $20 less, whatever that is there. Because here it's $60, which would make it $50 there. I think.
I can look.
If you don't have Game Pass and you have a PC or an Xbox, and you just want to. Pay $15 and there you go.
$50. Hellblade 2 is $50.
It's not a very long ride. It's like about 5 hours or something, right?
I think if you just mainline it, I'm at 5.5 now, and I haven't done.
That sounds like a good amount for like the type of game it is.
For that type of content.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, if it was like, because it really is like, it keeps its like pedal to the floor in terms of. I don't know the right word I'm looking for, because it's not like super intense like. Gameplay wise all the time, just you're if anyone's ever said they were bored playing this, I don't know how that's possible, because they either were not they don't have ears, they could be deaf, and if that's the case, that would totally make a huge difference. So
or they were playing with the sound down, or they weren't playing with the headphones or something like that, you know.
The kids crying in the background.
Kids crying in the background.
Wife's like, take out the garbage.
Even with the first game, man, even without wearing headphones, like when I played it without headphones, it was still a lot. right? You know, it was a lot. So
this one was different for me. Like the first one, I never really felt uneasy. This one I definitely did, especially in the first couple hours, when it was constant, and then later on when it was meant to be like that. It's hard to explain without saying go play it, but it's weird. I said in the Discord, it reminds me of the first time I played The Last of Us, where I like The Last of Us, but not one time did I think, oh, I'm having fun playing The Last of Us, just because of the subject matter and just the tone and everything was just like,
and I don't know if you guys remember, but like I was getting some deja vu from what Jason just said. Like, this is not the time for him to play it. That's the way I was with the original Last of Us. Like at the time it came out, I'm like, I am not in the mental state to play this game right now. I just can't. So
and
that's part of the reason
I have years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
give me some lighthearted shit.
Like I haven't. That's why part 2 is on my my backlog list, because I've never I haven't gotten around to it. So I certainly want
part 2 is even worse for that, probably.
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah.
Ugh,
yeah.
I know
part 2 was hard.
I know some stuff.
There's definitely some stuff. But anyway, I'll have it finished up. I was trying to hope to finish it before we recorded tonight, but I was not able to.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of glad you didn't, because I want to hear about how, I want to hear about how it evolves between now and next week. Like if you continue to play it. So I'm
gotcha.
glad you didn't.
I really think I have like half an hour. I'm on the last chapter. I know that, just depending on how long that is. But yeah, that's what I can say. Like, safely now is if you like the first one, I think you'll love the second.
Gotcha.
But if you didn't like the first one, this is not going to change your mind. It's still very niche for its audience. It's just got that AAA sheen to it. I guess before we jump into your other one, Chris, I played some XDefiant. You guys know about that?
Today's the first day I heard of it. Seriously.
Yeah, it just came out either today or yesterday. Yeah, it's basically Ubisoft's Call of Duty, so like Ubi Duty, we'll call it.
Okay.
That's basically the title of this episode now.
Ubi Duty.
Ubi Duty.
A buddy of mine, I had no plans to play this game, like zero, and a buddy of mine's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Can you jump into a game of XDefiant and get an achievement for doing a multiplayer match with a friend?" I'm like, "Sure." So we played a couple matches, and it was very Call of Duty. It's probably a little bit quicker moving, and the cool aspect is it's got a lot of the factions from Ubisoft games. Like you could pick the Splinter Cell, the Echo, whatever. I can't remember what they're called. Third Echelon from like Splinter Cell. There's Division faction. There's a Far Cry. There's a Far Cry faction. I'm waiting for them to add that Rayman faction. That'd be cool. Some rabbits, maybe. And I guess their hook is it's an arena shooter like the old Call of Duties, but also with hero shooter aspects. So you pick a class from your faction, and they have like kind of like powers. Like the Third Echelon girl, she can go invisible, have thermal goggles and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool. I only played a couple matches. I don't know how much of it I'll play in the long run, but it's free to play. So
I was about to ask, is this a free to play? So that makes sense.
It is, and that also scares me because that's just like, there's a battle pass right when you finish that first match. It pops up like, here's all the rewards you have. Oh, but you have to unlock the battle pass.
If only you would have gotten the battle pass.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta give us
sure you don't want that battle pass? Yeah. And it's getting some good buzz. I got my ass kicked. I'm not good at those games at all.
No, I'm not either. How much is the battle pass?
Oh, I didn't even click on like view battle pass. It just showed the loot at the bottom and like, this is what you unlocked with things. Like, would you like to unlock now? I'm like, no, I'm good.
How about now?
I'm going to assume $10.
How about now?
How about now?
How about now? What about now? I just turned on my Xbox. It's going to be like, hey.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Oh, fuck. That's it.
Good stuff. All right. I can go.
Yeah,
you can.
I beat that Stellar Blade joint.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. until like the last 2 hours. Like
that's what we're
the
saying.
last 2 hours are a fucking grind, man. It's like
they put you through the ringer.
5 straight bosses to end this game out, and like you guys were. I probably should have done this, but I didn't. I don't know why I have this pride aspect that requires
you
me
and
to
Travis
try and
both, man.
beat a game on normal, like oh man. But I did get through it all. But man, by the time I got to the last encounter, I was like, why am I doing this to myself?
Seriously,
like, why am I doing this? But yeah, overall, like, it's still so good. Like, visually, it's gorgeous. Like, you guys were saying that you don't like the characters and stuff like that, and I don't particularly think they're fantastic. Mm-hmm. But like, I certainly enjoyed some of the side quests that opened them up a bit more, like Enya and the girl with the Lily. No, well, Lily too. Like, Lily has one too, but also the girl with that's my sister Chunk. Yeah, no, that's Enya. Enya's the singer. Sorry, that one's easy for me to remember because one of my close friends has a daughter named Enya. So, but yeah, overall, very, very good. I started to, especially during the boss gauntlet, started to really get a lot better at the parrying. I still never felt good about dodging. Like, I could not.
I didn't dodge.
Rarely use it.
And that's
only
the thing.
If I knew there was things coming, like maybe from off screen, I would just start mashing that dodge thing, and it would work. Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I panic rolled a lot, but I didn't dodge on purpose.
Absolutely panicked a lot, but there is the one like spark that they do, the one colored spark that they do. That the only way you're going to get away from it is dodging, right? So there and the bosses, some of those bosses had several of those, so it was trying to figure that out. But honestly, I ran into, so I said it was five straight bosses, pretty much, right? Starting from when you actually get, we talked about space already. When you actually get to space, the second one, the one that I mentioned to you guys, I was completely stuck at him. Like, he was just fucking wrecking me every time. And I'm just an idiot. Like, I don't know why. And I'm like, oh, why don't I change up my gear a little bit? It's like, because I don't like my gear. Yeah, my gear was always like pretty. I always tried to make it pretty balanced. I was always wearing the Exospine that gave you the extra stealth. And that's obviously useless against bosses. Like, why I had on right?
The entire time.
Right. And it's like, you just don't really think about taking it off, right? So, so I took that. I took that Exospine off. I already had the reflex one on, which opens up the windows for like the parries and shit like that. So I put on the protection one, leveled it up, and then I literally went into like the last boss fight with all 3 protection gears on. So the 3-star, the 2-star, and the 1-star. So I had like 29% damage reduction, and I was going in with like an extra like 300 shield. And like those last 2 boss fights were still a pain in the ass. Like, it was still tough, really rough. Yeah, they're super, super hard. But I mean, outside of that, like they were very flashy. Like, especially the second to last one. With the person who wears the suit that you guys love, like, that was a really cool fight. Just watching how they interacted with each other, and there's like that little cutscene halfway through it that I thought was really cool. Like, they just did a really good job on all that presentation. So I really enjoyed that. The one thing that I keep meaning to mention this, and I haven't, because I always forget. I have 0 issues with having character action game with hot girl. Okay, I have no problems with that.
There's a place for that.
There's a place for it, but please don't make her wear high fucking heels. Nobody fights in high fucking heels.
Technically, she doesn't have a heel, Chris.
No, if you depending on the suit you are wearing, she absolutely does have a heal. But and then the ones that don't have heels, like the actual footwear is like fucking attached to her calf.
Yeah.
So instead of having the heel underneath, it's like the footwear is attached to her calf, so she can't like unpoint her foot. But for God's sakes, like you will never find a woman fighter that wears heels ever.
That's the hill that's the one you're dying.
That's the one I'm dying on. That's the fucking hill I'm dying on.
All the unrealistic shit, and you're going with no woman would fight in heels.
That's right.
God damn it. Sony censored all the flats in this game. Gave her high heels.
All I wanted was a pair of Crocs on a girl, man. That's all I want.
Nobody fights in Crocs either, Jeff.
Censorship.
Uggs. Are Uggs still a thing? Give me them Uggs.
God, I hope not. God, I hope not. Fuck those things. No, I mean, I'm mostly joking. I do think that the heels were a bad choice. Like, I feel like that, you know, just put her feet on the fucking ground.
I don't think there's been one that didn't fight in heels. Bayonetta definitely had heels.
She had gun heels.
Yeah, she did.
Were they as high though? Like,
Mm-hmm.
does
it matter?
Okay.
Still heels.
I mean, not really. Depends. Like I could see boots that have a little bit of a heel, but like the ones that she's wearing, she's fucking like her she straight up has a point. Well, yeah, they're gun shoes, but the like eaves are just like her foot is straight up pointed down.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic game. I'm probably going to go ahead and start New Game Plus.
Cool.
I am a little disappointed that after beating the game, it didn't allow me to go back to the game I was originally in and go back and get all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be fair, they do give you like 2 chances to say, oh, okay, I guess I will wrap up all this shit. Because they're like, if you got anything, just finish it up right now. Because I can get a chance later.
Yeah, but I guess the reason I say that is because I like being able to get to the end and beat the game and then go back and get everything and then do that again. Yeah. And you don't really have that opportunity here. Because even if you do that, you still have the gauntlet of bosses that you have to go through in order to beat it, right? Instead of just a final boss, you got to go through the gauntlet of bosses. I think their intention is to get you like playing the New Game Plus as soon as possible because it's all about because there's multiple endings. And they want you to get the best ending, which is, consistent of getting both of the previous endings. So there's like a third one that you have to get as well. So yeah, I'll have to look up what ending I got and where it falls with the others. But I can tell you it wasn't as good as the other one. At least the last boss fight, I should say, is different depending on the choices you make. So sure. I made the same choice as Chris, I think. And Jeff, I'll talk to you offline about this, but I like while I was sitting there, because it was a hot minute before I made that choice. Oh, dude, I took a while. I sat there like, well, fuck. I was like, I'll give you my reasoning why I picked it off air, but I didn't do what I did last time with Liza P, where I quickly Googled it, and then I was skimming so quickly that I was like, I read the title wrong, and I thought I was picking the good ending. So I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to go with my gut. And I was happy with the ending. I was too. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But yeah, it took me a minute. Like I can't remember the last time a game made me sit and just like ponder like that. No shit. How much were you guys shitting your pants that there was a time limit? It just wasn't showing. I was like, oh god, I got to make a decision. I watched them for a little while. I'm like, okay, they're not still moving, really. Okay, all right. I think I got time here. I got up and walked around for a little bit. Yeah, but honestly, a couple days later, you go back. You're like, I almost the choice that I made. I was very hesitant to make it. Yeah. For a very specific reason, and we'll talk about that offline because spoilers like crazy. But I just there was one particular thing like I cannot have that happen. Like I think I know where you're. Yeah, you probably do. Yeah. You probably know where I'm going. But I'm like I can't do that. Like if that's what happens, I can't do that. So the way they did it it was a lot better for me. Like I was able to, like, once I made that choice and saw how they did it, I was like, okay, now I get it, and now I feel good about it. And then even going through that boss fight and seeing how that boss fight ended, I was like, yeah, that was really cool. You know, I was really down for it. So, but yeah, I'll definitely go back. I'll make the other choice, and then I'll probably start New Game Plus. But man, God, what a fucking surprise! We've had a lot of surprises this year, guys.
Yeah,
because this is definitely going to be on my Game of the Year list too. Like this, Helldivers. Like I feel like there's going to be
Helldivers,
a lot of surprises. Prince of Persia, lots of surprises. Lots of surprises.
I've so thoroughly enjoyed games this year. It's just ridiculous. Almost more than last year. Last year had like Baldur's Gate, around this time and stuff. But it's like I've had banger after banger this year, and like it's very intense experiences. You know, the Prince of Persia, I beat that in like 2 days or something like that. Same thing with like Stellar Blade.
You've been you've been knocking this shit out real fast,
man. Yeah, I've been having a good time. Good time.
If someone told me like the beginning of the year, the only game I was looking forward to at the beginning for the first part was going to be Hellblade. I thought that was going to be the first one that was like going to be a real. Final Fantasy. That was. February. I would be like, those are the two, and then I don't think anything else will be on my list. And then I think at 3 games so far, it's same fucking boat as you guys are in. It's like fuck.
That's
even the Banishers. I thought Banishers was also really good. Like that's probably going to be in my top 10.
Oh yeah.
So.
You kind of fell off Final Fantasy at the end, though.
I did. I don't know if Final. I mean, it might make it by default, if I don't, depending on how many games I beat this year. But I could tell you, it's not like I definitely would put Helldivers above it. Definitely put. I'm getting the blades mixed up, guys. Stellar Blade above it. And I would,
me too.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where Hellblade sits after. But
finishing it, yeah, sure.
Yeah. There's something else. I'm missing something. What else did we? There's something else.
There was another game that we all were like, this was a surprise, and I can't remember what it is.
Prince of Persia. We just fucking did it again, or I did it again.
Well, no, I was thinking of there's another one besides that, I think. But I did get something very exciting in the mail, and I think it's going to be most exciting for Glenn. But
you got a Steam Deck. Oh, Sea of Stars. Is that a steelbook?
That is the physical. No, it's just a slipcase, but it's physical. Sea of Stars.
Motherfucker! I haven't got mine yet.
So, you haven't got yours yet? Yeah, no. I just got it. But it's pretty cool, man. It's like the slipcover looks really good. I'm digging it a lot, and it comes with a physical map.
I missed those
of the place. So good stuff. And actually, this is weighty, so I haven't opened this one yet, but it feels like there's an instruction manual in there.
Holy shit!
It is,
Bring it back.
I'm so mad because like I thought I got mine on the Switch, so I was like, okay, well maybe the Switch ones just haven't gone out yet. So I put in like another Discord in, and I'm like, fuck, I'm seeing everyone get their PlayStation ones, their Xbox ones, and I'm like, well maybe it's just because of the Switch. And then like 2 people posted their Switch one. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, what the fuck? And checking my thing, it still doesn't say delivered yet. Yeah, and then people are getting their Baldur's Gate now too.
Oh man, I didn't even get that one. I'm kind of sad I didn't, to be honest with you.
You still can. It wasn't like I don't think it's limited.
Oh really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can still get it.
I'm trying to think if I have.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I do get this way about like other physical media because I'm so like I'm not against the game's physical media. I'm just like. I'm checked out of that one because it's so like 1, it's expensive. 2, it's like a 1-to-1 to just like download these, where you're not like sacrificing quality or anything like that. But I go into movies and like if I miss a window, like with like a pre-order window or something like that, I am fucking pissed. It's like, why can't you just make more of these for me to buy? God damn it.
And movies, it's completely different, right? Because there's so much degradation of quality
during streaming and stuff.
When you're streaming, or even if it's downloadable, like the compression.
You look at things like Netflix where they just like constantly rotate the things that are available. You don't see that on games. It's not like they might have things go on and off Game Pass or something like that, but it's not like you can't still buy Sea of Stars, somewhere.
Yeah. My concern is always that, like for instance, right now,
store goes down.
Yeah, if the store goes down, like they're talking about PlayStation Vita went down, and
I'll tell you what, I found a site on the Internet Archive last night that had every single PlayStation Portable game available for download. Another one that is just all of the digital games for the PSP, like all the PS1 games. Like this shit is so easy to come by.
You can find it. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, that shit is not going anywhere, and I know it's going to be that way with PS3 games, shortly. So
eventually,
exactly. If they're doing it now, like as long as it's as long as they allow it to keep happening, it'll keep happening.
Yep.
Dude, I kind of like the way that they're doing it now. Is another game did it too that they did. Hi-Fi Rush is going to get their physical, but I like Baldur's Gate. The entire game's on the discs. Like it's not. It doesn't require an update. It's like up to date of the date it was printed, which was not long ago. I guess whatever the final was. So I like that idea. So you don't have to reinstall anything. You don't have to download. You don't have to worry about that. Because if you're just buying them right off like I do with my Steelbook stuff like that, like you're not getting a game on a disc. You're getting a code on that disc that says download me when I insert.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
And that's true. Like especially with like PS5 and Xbox, like you put the disc in, and at least for PS5, it does copy what's on the disc, and then but at the same time, it goes and it downloads the patch for it, right? So
yeah,
that's usually 60 gigs as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's most of the time. Yeah. Games are big now.
That was a quick physical media aside. Shit's scary out there. Shit's scary.
Jason, what about you, man? What's on your plate?
Fucking A, like nothing new. The past 3 weeks, I've just been working on leverless stuff, which has been very fruitful, I think. But at the same time, I got real frustrated with a particular thing that I was trying to do that I just really could not. And I plugged in a stick and I did it right off the bat. And it's like, fuck, man, I'm doing this shit way easier on stick, right? This is easier to me, but I feel like I gotta stick this leverless out, right? For lack of a better term. And
you have to kind of unlearn,
it's hard.
Yeah.
But I found out that part of my problem is the kind of key that I'm using. What I really like is these very, very kind of mushy. They're linear keys. They're not tactile. They're not clicky. They're just kind of a rubber membrane kind of key or something like that. So it actuates right away, but at the same time, it takes forever to deactuate. I mean, you need to have that kind of precision, that deactuation, in order to do a fireball, right? So you hit down, and then you hit to the right, but you have to make sure that you have your ring finger, the down key held down while you're holding right, and then lift up on it as well. So it's it's actually more steps, but it takes a little more precision. But once you get that down, it's like butter. Anyway, I found out that I like a more tactile key because it pushes my finger up and it lets me off that key a little bit sooner. So it's oh wow, that actually helps. So I'm mixing and matching keys. I've got tactile keys on my movement, and I've got the mushy keys on my attack buttons because they're quieter. They don't clack or anything like that.
Click, yeah.
So yeah, I'm going down a fucking hole for sure, but it's been fun.
So what are you practicing on? What games are you practicing on?
Street Fighter right now, because Akuma just came out and he's super fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to combo into, he can just do it. The shitty thing is that I guess he has really low health, but he seems to be doing a lot of damage. And I've just been playing in training for the most part. And doing combo trials and shit. And it's been super fun. But yeah, I still have been
muscle memory, dude. It's all about muscle memory. You just you have to relearn everything.
I know. I just feel like I'm way behind the curve. Because I hear and I read about people that picked up leverless and they're like, yeah, it wasn't that bad, or it took me a couple of weeks to do this and it was no big deal. But I'm like, fuck, I'm really struggling. But I don't know. It's something that I'm focused on, and I'm seeing positive growth with it. So it's been fun. I'll stick with it. But but also just I think I mentioned it last week too, the beat 'em ups that I've been playing to practice movement. That's been good. Did I talk
Play some
about
Streets of Rage 4?
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh, nice.
You know what? I played it on my fucking phone the other day. Like I hooked up a Bluetooth controller and played it on my phone.
Like streaming, or is it actually on?
It's actually on. They've got an Android port for it.
Wow. Okay.
So did I talk about my bad luck with the leverless controllers yet?
Yes. Oh, I can't remember. Did you talk about it on the show, or did we see it?
I don't know. But yeah, I had 2 of them break on me within as many days. Like I had one, the controller port just like broke when it slipped out of my
That's
lap.
right. Yeah.
And then the plexi broke on another one. But I got the plexi today, so I'm working on building that. So that might be
I did not hear about that.
Did the plexi break because the other one slipped and you got mad and you smashed your fist down on the other one that was right to your right?
You'd think. Maybe there was a little frustration when I was trying to put in the buttons that, didn't actually fit.
Yeah.
Why won't you, motherfucker? Why won't
get to your home?
That's definitely what happened, actually. I was a little mad that they weren't going in so flush. But I don't know. Back on track. Everything's fine. I'm having fun with it again. Good. I got stickers on my dude here. Look at that little shy guy.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, I've definitely seen that.
He says GG.
Yeah. And right now he's just saying it to you over and over again, right?
Yep.
So cool.
That's it for me. Nope.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. We don't have any news or anything like that. So we just came on here to chat with each other and talk about games. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please tell a few friends about us and like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube video. We really appreciate that, and it helps us a lot. Check out our link tree right down below. That will lead you to everything for us, including our Discord, which we would love you to come and join and hang out and talk with us.
Hang out.
And our Patreon, if you want to go by and support us. We appreciate that as well. But that's it. Until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Jason.
I'm Geoff.
Play your games, and we'll talk to you next week.
Later.